Hey everybody, I missed you guys. I have a new microphone, so you don't have to listen to me breathe, which is great because I also have a cold. So you guys are my fix because I've been in the house and I didn't want to infect anyone. So I can hang out with you. Okay, so we're finishing a nice list, not a critical list, just a list. It is called 21 Signs You Are an INFJ by someone named Jen Greenman. And I did stumble upon this on introvertdear.com. They have some nicely written articles. Now, we already covered 1 through 5. I called that part 1. That was before Christmas. And now I think I'm going to attempt 6 through 10. And we just go over it together, and I kind of give you my thoughts on, is this true or not? You know, I'll tell you examples from my life or things like that. Always upbeat, always in the positive. So here we go. I'll read it to you. I have it in front of me. Number 6, you like being alone, but you can't be alone for too long. Oh, that's kind of funny. I was just telling you that. Eventually, you need to reunite with your people. Your people are a handful of good friends who truly get you. Yeah, I definitely need that. Deep conversations with these people are priceless, and hanging out with them can actually boost your energy. Definitely. I remember, probably the first 20 years of my adulthood, like 18 through 38, let's say. I went through a period of having, in the very beginning of my 20s, I had no friends. Well, why? Because I was blurting out everything I was thinking, to put it honestly, and I was not understanding how I was being received. You know, that's my motivation for doing a lot of these videos. I'm very frank with you. If I can share anything with someone that is younger than me, and you can learn something faster and avoid some of the bumps in the road, the natural bumps of being an INFJ, then that's me. I want to share that. This is who I am. I'm a counselor. It's just my natural way. So in my 20s, I was blunt, and I remember crying. I didn't have any friends once. And then when I got older, like in my 30s, I just went crazy, and I got tons and tons of friends. Tons, but they weren't real friends. And I realized how alone a person can be when they're surrounded with people that don't know them. You might be in that now. I don't know where you're at in your life, but it's just very unsatisfying. You want this for sure. Okay. And you need that because of your bullshit meter. It's always on. So maybe you figured that out already. I hadn't figured that out. You know, it felt, I was kind of lonely. I don't have a family, I should say that. So I'm not busy with kids. My husband works like 2 jobs, the equivalent of 2 jobs, just because they need him. So he was not home a lot. So I filled up my time with fake friends. Just superficial friends, and that did not satisfy me. No way. And they didn't, you know what? If I showed a little bit of myself as truth, they didn't really like me either. They didn't get me. So that sucked. And then I got a little older and a little wiser, and you know, now I've got exactly what I want, and it doesn't go away. It's permanent. When you get these people, they're forever. So hang in there if you haven't found your people yet. They're out there looking for you. And you'll find each other when the time is right, when you can add something to your life. Because one of my closest friends is an INFJ, and she was my best friend in high school when we didn't even know about this crap. But we were actually both similar. We both had some of those esoteric interests and stuff like that. We were, deep, but we were also teenage girlfriends. And I didn't see her for a couple of decades. And now we're just as close. So that's kind of neat too, where people can come back in your life if they're quality. So why wasn't she in my life the whole time? We didn't need each other. That's all. Pretty simple. This is what I understand about life. And I'm pretty happy, so I would listen to me. Okay. So it says that we like being alone, but you can't be alone for too long. Yeah, for sure. I can't anyway. Okay, number 7. We're on number 7 now. It says, you've been known to suddenly cut people out of your life when they've hurt you one too many times. It's not that you enjoy cutting people out, rather, you do this simply to protect yourself. Even though you may look like you have it together on the outside, you're extremely sensitive inwardly, and you're especially sensitive to other people's words and actions. Yes, I would agree with that, but I just like to reiterate, being sensitive, we're sensitive to things. We're not weak, We're not weak. We're just picking up on everything. So stuff that bothers stuff that bothers us doesn't bother other people. So, hey, we have to live like that. Stuff bothers us, so we're going to notice. Nobody likes being hurt. So that's, if we do cut people out, it's just because we can be very serious about our relationships, and we go deep with people, and we remember things they say, we remember how we feel, we remember how they feel, because we have the empathy. So things are just a much richer, deeper experience where we're taking a lot in. So we're not really going to be able to hang out with people that are deeply hurtful or curt, because it's just not who we are. We're just not made of that stuff. I like to think we're kind of a more emotionally mature group. Why should I have to be ashamed of that? I think that we're a more emotionally mature. We're more spiritually advanced in that way, about being sensitive. So, yeah, it looks like we're secure on the outside, but on the inside, we might be mulling over something. So I would agree with that. I think they're just being honest in this list. I don't find offense with too much of this or any of it yet. All right, number 8. Sometimes you try so hard to make other people happy that you forget to make yourself happy. Yeah. And this is a natural trait of empaths. My reasoning for doing that, I tend to think about the needs of the room, because I really feel, I've always felt this way, even as a kid. I feel a camaraderie, one for all for one. This made me a great team player, to some extent. I also like to be bossy, but in a small group, I feel like I can do a good job being a team player, because I could see the needs of everything, all the project, and then I just kind of did it. I did it in layers as needed. So yeah, if that might mean sometimes making someone else happy before me, if I feel that's the goal, if I'm in a group. And you know what? A relationship is a group. I was giving you an example of me waitressing at work right here, like whatever the room needed. If you need napkins, if you need this stacked, if you need me to coffee your customer, I will do these things as needed before I just take care of my own section. All right. So I definitely feel I'm a team player, and I think this is an INFJ thing. In relationships, this is what the point is, and the number that we're covering here says you make other people happy before you. Yeah, if that's what's needed. If somebody's really, really, really upset and I'm not, I'm just a little upset. I'm going to go take care of them, make them feel better. Yep, that's true. True for me anyway. Number 9, we're only going to do, I think we're going to do up to 10. Number 9, you often feel like you see precisely what someone else is feeling, and you believe you know what they need deep down. Of course I do. You're not always right, but you tend to be more perceptive than most. Yeah. It's sometimes when I'm talking to someone I'm close to, I'm giving my husband as an example because he already knows about my weirdness. I will say to him, I can see it on you. Like, I'm really adamant about what they're calling it perceiving. Yes, perceiving. I feel like it's coming off of him. I feel like even if he doesn't know how he feels, I can see it. I don't know how else to say it. No, I can't see it. It's not like I see energy, rays, or colors like some people. But I know when I'm speaking to him, I'm like, I see it. It's like coming off of you, emanating from you, exuding out your pores. It's all over about you. And so yes, I definitely agree with this for myself. I perceive precisely what someone else is feeling. It says I'm not always right. I feel I'm mostly right. This is why they call us arrogant. I'm mostly right. Like, let's say I'm like 90%. That's giving myself a lot. Let's say I'm 90% right. Accurate, rather. The times when I'm not accurate is when I'm emotionally invested in the answer. Just like a psychic. Psychic has filters. And the better the psychic, the more clear they make themselves to be, like a clear vessel, an empty vessel, an empty conduit. That's a good psychic. When you see the skilled mediums on YouTube or wherever, those are the ones that can make themselves empty and move out their own biases and beliefs and fears and so forth, and attachments. So it's kind of the same for me. This is why I say we're a very spiritual type of group. I see the similarities all the time. So this is one of them. When I see what someone else is feeling, let's say it's my husband, someone's close to me. Sometimes if I'm invested, I do see the wrong thing. I am incorrect. And he's very quick to tell me. And then the other times when he fights me, it's because I feel it's because he doesn't know it. I do feel I'm accurate, but if he's not ready to see it, who am I to shove it down his throat? You know what I mean? And I've talked about that before, about being sensitive and thoughtful to others. Just because you see things, you might think you're accurate, but they might not see it yet, and that's their right. That's their right to evolve into their own knowings. Okay, so now we're going to do number 10. That'll be the last one. You feel like you're destined for so much more than just dragging yourself to your 9-to-5 job to pay the bills. You want to help people and change the world.